Dear colleagues, I'd like to introduce the report and speak on the topic Learning Analytics of MOOCs based on Natural Language Processing. The authors of the report are Yulia Dyulicheva and Elizaveta Bilashova. The structure of the research is presented in slide. Aim and objectives of the research. The definition and tasks of the research. Machine learning algorithm and their usage for educational data mining and learning analytics tools development. Dataset and methodology. The titles clustering of MOOCs. Sentiment analysis or reviews of MOOCs based on BERT. Frequency analysis or reviews based on polarities and aspects. Recently, MOOCs and various e-learning environments propose big data connected with students' and tutors' activities. The diversity of data in education requires special approach to handling and data recognition. Machine learning algorithms are widely used in learning analytics (LA) and educational data mining (EDM). Educational data mining is considered as the methodology for mining regularities from big educational data that are gathered in educational environments. LA is aimed at tool development for analyzing and optimization learning. During the COVID-19 pandemic, when distance learning became the only possible form of education, the development of tools for solving the problem of assessing the quality of education and analyzing feedback from students in the form of answers to questions of Google Forms, comments and reviews on various media platforms attracted the attention of many researchers as one of the most pressing tasks of learning analytics. There are different problems in LA and EDM formulated as supervised learning, unsupervised learning, or reinforcement learning problems connected with the extractions of qualitative regularities from educational data for understanding students' and tutors' behavior and activities. The following purposes are stated in the paper. Studying the effectiveness on the machine learning algorithm application for solving learning analytics problems. The development of the learning analytics tools for extracting the regularities from some programming languages MOOCs using Python libraries. Consider some machine learning algorithms and their usage for educational data mining and learning analytics tools development. The task of predicting student performance is one of the primary tasks in e-learning systems aimed at identifying factors that affect student performance, assessing the quality of learning, identifying groups of lagging and successful students. Decision trees can be used to describe the key characteristics of certain groups of students, listeners of MOOCs. Identifying such target groups can help the tutor better understand the target audience of online courses. Sentiment analysis and analysis of opinions in education allow us to identify the emotional component, boredom, aggression, fear, antipathy, frustration, inspiration, joy, lively interest, etc. Associated with learning to understand the reasons for student behavior, loss of interest in the learning process, involvement in the educational process, etc. To detect their interests and needs, as well as expectations for students and their perception of reality. Another application of sentiment analysis in education is the development of systems for the qualitative assessment of the work of teachers and universities, teaching methods, and the quality of the educational process based on the analysis of feedback from students. The main stage of the study of text content in educational analytics include text understanding based on natural language processing methods with subsequent vectorization and the use of machine learning methods for classifying or clustering educational text data. Many researchers know the importance of studying not only the emotional state for students, but also teachers, since the perception of a teacher as a person who confidently demonstrates his knowledge has a significant impact in the perception of the discipline and can create a stable positive or negative attitude toward the discipline throughout life. The tasks of students and instructors, facial expressions are usually solved using deep neural networks. We investigated the data of 300 MOOCs on the study of most popular programming languages for machine learning such as Python and R and scraped 6,000 reviews of them and extracted 1,150 sentences that describes teacher, tutor, or instructor, and 2,365 sentences that describe the course or tutorial. Consider the main steps of the research. The first one. Clustering titles of MOOCs with the help of a bag of words for vectorization and simple cosine measure with the dot products of two vectors in numerator and product of two Euclidean norms of vectors in the denominator with detection and similarity of titles, and additionally clustering kMeans methods. Step number 2. The sentiment analysis of 1,150 sentences that contain the word teacher or its synonyms, and 2,365 sentences about course, tutorial, or its synonyms was performed. We used model BERT for the sentiment analysis of each group. BERT model, bidirectional representation for transformers, based on transfer learning and has a complex architecture with 12 or 24 encoder stack layers, with 12 or 24 bidirectional heads relay self-attention, and 7,068 or 1,024 hidden UDIs. We used Python library PyTorch and encode methods for text vectorization based on pre-trained model BERT. The received tensor with 5 scores we translate into convenient polarities from 1 to 5. The score 1 and 2 for negative polarity, 3 neutral, 4 and 5 for positive polarity. Step number 3. Frequency analysis of reviews based on polarities. We extracted the top of words with high frequency for each group of sentences with different polarities. The result of clustering of 300 MOOCs from Udemy based on kMeans and cosine similarity measure are presented in figure on slide. The top of words from 14 clusters allows listeners to understand the presence of MOOCs and the main directions of learning. Such words agree well with the extractions of key skills and basics that are learned during the online course and will be used to match popular job vacancies in the labor market. The most presented courses on Udemy are the courses aimed at the beginning and advanced levels for machine learning, in particular deep learning, web scraping, forecasting, computer vision, natural language processing. We investigated 3 aspects of MOOCs: relationship to teacher and course, a description of issues during the learning, and used Python library transforms and pre-trained text preprocessing for text vectorization and sentiments of text detection. The results of sentiment analysis with BERT deep model are presented at figure in slide. The distributions of opinions by groups, taking into account the polarity, show that students of MOOCs in programming are more demanding on the course than on the teacher, but in general they show a positive attitude. Let's create clouds of words based on frequency analysis and word cloud Python library, taking into account sentiments and the aspects under study. Frequency analysis can be used as an additional tool for understanding the causes of students' issues. For example, we extracted such troubles as installation of libraries, settings, development of apps with GUI, hard understanding of 2 programming languages at the same time, etc. For programming MOOCs, we have highlighted words that well describe the positive and negative emotions of MOOCs listeners. The most frequently positive words that MOOCs listeners will use for positive emotion description about the relationship to instructors were knowledgeable, clear, talented, great, patient. And for the description of negative emotions, the words boring, bad, hard, and professional were used. The positive emotions to course learners of MOOCs expressed in words great, good, complete, amazing, friendly. And for negative emotion description, they use such words as difficult, bad, confused, expected deep, uninformative, lacked, and other. We demonstrate that even the usage of the simple tool developed based on Python natural language processing libraries gives an understanding of the advantages and disadvantages of MOOCs that will be used by developers, experts, and instructors for better quality MOOCs creation that oriented on preferences of each listeners of MOOCs based on listener feedback analytics. Thank you for your attention.